Hello, David. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. I am here to interview you about the Golden Thread. This is our artist, David Johannson. Say hello to the people, David.
Hello. I'm glad you could join us. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your experience as an artist, especially during all of this pandemic,
Yes.
and a few questions about Golden Thread, everything. So, what is the most exciting thing to you about being part of the Golden Thread?
Well, I mean, this is a new venture for Kimberly, and it brings community of artists together. Um, I when I saw the information about it, it sounded very engaging to me, and it just seems like a good it seemed like a good fit for me, and I think a lot of other people will be able to take this opportunity to introduce their art, to introduce um, their creativity to people who are stuck at their homes.
Absolutely. Yeah. What has there have you had any difficulty staying like creatively active during this time?
So interestingly, I have pretty much spent about 8 to 12 hours every single day since the lockdown. I have been I have well for the first 2 days or so. I stuck around the house, and I was lamenting whether or not to get to my art studio, and I kind of think of artists as essential part of the fabric, let's say, of Seattle, and I was asked by a couple of the leaders over in Georgetown if I would um, paint a bunch of buildings that were being boarded up,
Mm,
paint a bunch of the plywood to sort of make it look more appealing, to keep it from being necessarily tagged by maybe other people,
right.
which is fine. That's an art form as well. But so I pretty much spent the first month and a half painting murals in Georgetown,
Wow.
and that was a day, throughout the day, and then would go to the studio and paint paintings. I mean, I just really feel like this period is a great opportunity for artists to interpret what they're seeing,
Hmm.
and I think you'll see a lot of interesting artwork that comes out of this particular era or this period.
Absolutely. Do you have any particular styles that you connect with, or types of art? I know you're a painter, right? I want to learn a little more about your style.
Okay. Well, so for me, I'm a painter, but I also see myself as a multi media artist. So videos, music, sculpture, painting, writing. I kind of like the idea of incorporating all of these things in my expression. But for right now, what we're talking about is my paintings, and I I love doing abstract. I love also painting sort of my iconic sort of Seattle scapes. Sometimes I make these just. I mean, you can tell my skylines are Seattle,
Yeah.
and I will also add multiple space needles, let's say, in it. It's not so much that it's about tourism for me as it is when I would come to Seattle from Eastern Washington. I'd
Mm,
see sort of the space needle first of all.
right. Yeah.
And it was kind of in a time when there weren't a ton of huge tall buildings,
Hmm.
so you'd see this like space needle from far away coming, if I was coming up like from the Tacoma direction or wherever, you just always saw the space needle, and that to me represented hope, and represented a creative future. As a kid, I sort of saw Seattle as my as a beacon of hope for my creative expression in the future. And so with that, I like color. I'm kind of a colorist, so I do like a lot of color in paintings. And I think colors that are vibrant sort of enliven and enrich our world. Um, I
Yeah.
primarily use, I paint on canvas with, different, I have about 4 different styles going on right now. So my most current style has lines going over it, like the flight patterns on when you look at a flight map.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific like creative connections or I mean, obviously you're talking about having that connection to the Seattle skyline is like this hope for your creative future. Do you have any other creative connections that are important to you, or like inspirations that you think shine through your work?
Well, I guess, I think, one can interpret work in different ways.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I'd like to think that, I'd like to think that my work can be grounded and can be very, like, uh, current. And there can be times in life that are hard to get through, and I think some of my work reflects that. Some of the color and the tones reflect that. But I also like the idea of painting imagery, painting using color that sort of offers let's say a landscape of hope, like a sunrise.
Right.
The sun will always rise, the earth will always spin. Things that I like to. I do like doing a lot of earth shapes, and so I like to think that we are. People are always. I don't know. I mean, I think that the earth will continue to spin, and that is sort of with my art. I'm but a vessel or a conduit to share this for now, and I'll be gone not too long. I mean, life is a pretty short thing in the history of the world. So I guess that's, I think of art as a pretty big thing, and art has been, it has been the image that we see throughout history. It's always the art that is the way we look at civilizations, or the way we look at history. It's
Yeah.
always
Absolutely.
art. So I guess that's,
Yeah. So you kind of use those colors and those shapes to I mean that's kind of how art works, but to like represent how you're feeling and how you're connected to the the earth, or the your even your own self. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much.
thank you.
I can't wait to see your live painting at the Golden Thread 2 on May 30th at 7.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably paint a couple different things. I might demonstrate my hats that I do, that I'm giving away to frontline or to essential workers as a thank you from the community.
Yeah.
I just go up to them and I say, "There's an artist painting these to say thank you to people," and they're like, "Oh, thank you." I just kind of am the messenger. So
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much.
thank you. All right.
Great little talk.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah.
Yeah. All right.